While Tyler was surfing his brains out with High Fives Foundation at the Waco pool in Texas, my mom flew down to visit and helped us get ready to enter Mexico. First step, checking out of the States. Okay, first step, we've tied and locked up our dinghy, and now we are en route to the airport, which is just across the way, but I think it's a bit of a walk to Terminal 2. So it is 11 a.m. now. Let's see how long this process takes. We made it to the Terminal 2. It's 11:34. And now let's see, we've been instructed to find Zone V, loading Zone V, where there's a small office. It is 11:59 and we have just finished the paperwork, gave us the stamp of approval, and we're all set to leave tomorrow. So I'm really glad I made that phone call earlier today, because my mom remembered vaguely from 15 years ago when she did this on their boat that you needed to go to the airport. So I'm glad you said that. 15 years ago, when I was 15 years old, my family sailed to Mexico on my parents for most of 51. I was homeschooled for the year, and at the time, I had no idea that this year-long trip was going to shape my adult life in such a profound way. Fast forward 15 years later, we are doing it again. How crazy is that?
My son John was tall and slim, and he had a leg for every limb. But now he's got no legs at all, for he ran a race with a cannonball. Timmy Roo-dum-da, fa-da-riddle-da, whack for the riddles, Timmy Roo-dum-da. Well, were you drunk or were you blind when you left your two fine legs behind? Or was it sailing on the sea, were your two fine legs right down to the knees? Timmy Roo-dum-da, fa-da-riddle-da, whack for the riddles, Timmy Roo-dum-da.
We will be leaving in a couple hours, but first things first. We've got an episode to upload. We're getting some coffee, our last American experience before heading into Mexico for the rest of the season. We made it to Ensenada, Mexico, most northern port when coming from San Diego, and where we'll be posting up for the next month while we wait for hurricane season to end. We got a good deal for a month at the Marina Corral, which gave us access to the hotel amenities. We'd finally have a chance to slow down after moving nearly every single day for the last 2 months. But before I get too excited about the pool, we had some paperwork to do so we could officially check into the country. In Mexico, they require a few pieces of information. First up is your temporary import permit for your vessel. I had already applied for this ahead of time because I heard it can be challenging to get. It took me about a week of getting denied online and pulling my hair out before we got emailed our fancy piece of paper that lets Footloose be in Mexico for 10 years. We are en route to Capitana de Puerto for our paperwork to check in. We got a shuttle from this marina, which is ended up being a really nice spot. So we're here for a month and we are fancy this month. Next up is the FMM. This is like your tourist visa. Our agent from the marina helped us get this at the immigration office. We were now allowed to stay in the country for 180 days. Lastly was the port captains, where we updated him with our official crew list and where we'd have to visit again when we checked out of Ensenada. The total cost of checking into the country was $300 Canadian, and I have to say, having the agent from the marina was well worth the cost. Now that we were done the boring stuff, it was time to explore the city and say goodbye to my mom. Next time we see her, we'll be in the Puerto Vallarta area, and hopefully we can spend more time enjoying the boat and less time doing projects. Okay. Bye. Love you. Thanks for coming. Bye.
I need like a half inch.
Okay.
All right, so small enough world. I was getting in touch with people to skydive with in Ensenada here, and turns out Fabricio, the owner of the Drop Zone, the skydiving place here, just bought a sailboat the same day that I messaged him asking about skydiving. So it's the next day, and we're helping him put his boat together, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. His boat is going in the marina right next to our boat, so super small world. And yeah, we'll take him sailing, and he could take me skydiving. Maybe take Kayleen skydiving. Again, Carlos again. Yeah. Woo.
Little did we know that our love for sailing, skydiving, and food ended up making a lifelong friend.
Nice work, buddy. Amazing.
Over the next couple of weeks, we watched Fabricio put a ton of work into his Catalina 22, and he ended up entering a regatta a couple weeks later. We love to see it. Just in the Telcel here in Ensenada, getting a SIM card for my phone. I canceled my plan in Canada, and part of traveling by boat is finding cheap SIM cards so that we can still call, but otherwise we can use Starlink when we're on the boat. It was a successful mission getting me a SIM card, and I managed to get like 4.5 gigs for $20, so that's 300 pesos, which is a pretty damn good deal. That is unlimited, and you just top it up every month. Compared to Canada, I was paying over $100 a month for 20 gigs of data, so it's a success. And now that we're in Mexico, we are stoked to order Starlink. Even with the recent rule changes and throttle back data, there's still more than enough to be able to suit our needs. We haven't even come close to topping out the max amount of data. Ensenada is known for its food and drink, and we were here for it all. The Valley of Guadalupe has similar climate to the Mediterranean and produces wines like Syrah, Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon. Winemaker Alvaro was a mathematician and astronomer, and his passion for innovation and breaking from the structured scientific thought process inspired the winery Alzimia. The earth that gives rise to the vineyards, the water that is vital in the Valley de Guadalupe, the fresh air that comes from the sea, the fire in the form of the heat from the sun. The wine went down easy, and we had an amazing evening of food and wine with our new friends Fabricio and Alvaro. Okay.
And it has to be temperature controlled, so you can feel it's much colder. It's at 16 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is also higher.
Okay.
Why? Because the barrels, since they're made out of wood, need to absorb things. So you have two options. Either they absorb wine, and you lose maybe 20 liters per year, which is a lot. Or you absorb the humidity that you have in the air, and that way you lose maybe 1 or 2 liters per year.
Right.
So it's a huge difference.
Okay.
recording? Okay, so we don't really talk about it because I don't really like to talk about it because it's not fun. But I'm down to talk about it because I get so many messages from amputees that are like, man, I wish I could like do as much as you do, or like, man, how do you like do so much all the time? In our videos it looks, you know, like I charge, and I do charge pretty hard, but more often than not this situation happened a couple days ago. Is just overuse of my legs. I get skin breakdown, I get rashes, I get skin peeling off, ingrown hairs are really bad, and then kind of the major one is cysts, and that's what I'm always worried about. And I got a massive cyst, like, because my legs swelled up so bad after, what was the activity? Surfing, I guess.
And like a day walking around Ensenada. We went out for drinks with our friends. Hot tub.
We had a hot tub. We had Sailing Sicko over, and they came over for a hot tub. It was an awesome day, but then I pay for it, and sometimes I pay for it less, and it's just I have to moderate my leg wearing. Sometimes I pay for it more, like right now, which is, we're 2 days later now. I finally got out of the V-berth, which is nice. Like, it's nice to be out here and like shave my head and stuff, so I'm feeling a little better. But like, it's super frustrating. That's more the reality of this whole thing, is that like I couldn't cook for myself, I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself, I couldn't get groceries, I couldn't do laundry, I can't help with anything on board. And that's the part that wears me out, and it wears Kayleen out as well, because it just puts so much extra on both of us. Guilt on me and pressure for her to do a lot of things, along with editing YouTube videos and cleaning and you know, maintaining the boat and everything else that needs to be done. So I guess that's the reality, and we don't talk about it or show it that often, but here's a little glimpse.
Tyler ended up getting on a Zoom call with his doctor, who recommended getting the cyst drained. Our friend Fabricio helped us get an appointment locally so we could see if it was possible to do here, because life on a boat without legs is challenging, to say the least.
Remember, there's two ways to get an injury, like a traumatic scene, like something like a crash or something.
I know that.
Okay, you obviously know that, and what we call small
Repetitive.
Small repetitive trauma.
That's,
Yeah.
that's 5 years.
Yes.
200 pounds.
So after a week of his cyst on his leg not really going down, we kind of decided that something's got to change. He can't get his prosthetic on still, and it's now 2 weeks until we leave to go down to Baja. So I'm just waiting in the doctor's office here. Tyler's getting an ultrasound on his leg. He was supposed to have surgery on Monday, but it now sounds like they're just gonna suck the fluid out and keep doing that until after the snowboard season. But we're just so grateful to have Fabricio here to translate and be able to tell us what's up, because we'd be very lost. We'd probably have to fly back to Canada otherwise. It's just been such a big help to have him showing us around and telling us what doctors still do and driving us everywhere.
We made it.
Where are we going?
We'll get my leg sucked out. Get a little, get the cyst sorted out. Hopefully good enough that we can get through till I'm back in Canada, and then I'll probably have to have a surgery on it. But talked to a lot of people, and hopefully this is going to be good enough for now. Fingers crossed.
Oh, you see the cute, so cute.
Are you nervous? Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't want a big ass needle in my leg.
All done?
Got it. Easy
Like
peasy.
2 minutes.
Mexico style, in and out. Would have been 5 hours at home. Hell yeah.
Time was ticking away at the marina, so I took advantage of us being tied up to tackle some jobs before we head into the remote area of the Baja Peninsula. Most importantly was getting our water maker up and running. I had previously installed the pre-filters too high. After a bit of wrenching, we were ready to go. Okay, we finally got some clear water coming out after a couple 5 minutes of running the water maker. And I've never used this before, but we're gonna take a TDS reading. I actually don't know what I'm doing.
Instructions? Is there instructions?
I don't know. Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
Imagine that.
Remove the protective cap. Press on button once out of the water. The tester will read 0. Yep. Immerse the tester no more than 2 inches. Wait for the display to stabilize. 182. I think that's actually a decent reading. It's supposed to be like, I think 150 is better, but under 200 is okay. Let's try it. Better than California water.
Yeah.
Try it. Try it.
Mm.
What?
Oh, it has nice legs. Great scent. Definitely tastes like Mexico water.
You think so?
No, it tastes great.
After our first week or so in Ensenada, we could already tell we were gonna like it here in Mexico, and meeting friends like Fabricio make it that much better. We just want to say a huge thanks to our community of friends, patrons, and family who continue to support our journey. Thank you. Next time on All About Sprite. I'm back! Why do you want me to jump out of a plane? Oh.